Hello students, welcome in computer science class. Now in session 3, organization and introduction of microprocessor, we are going to learn features of 8085 microprocessor and pin diagram of 8085 microprocessor. Now let us see features of 8085 microprocessor. See, first feature is it is an 8-bit microprocessor. It is an 8-bit microprocessor. You know 8-bit means 1 byte. 8-bit means 1 byte. That is 8085 microprocessor stored or processed only 8-bit data. That means word length is 8-bit only. So this microprocessor is called 8-bit microprocessor. Now in second, it operates on single plus 5 volt power supply. Means for this 8085 microprocessor needs only plus 5 volt microprocessor. Next is 8085 chip is available in 40 pin plastic ceramic DIP package. DIP means dual inline. DIP means dual inline. 8085 IC is 40 pin IC DIP package. Means this IC is 40 pins are there. These pins we are study in later detail. Now next, it has 16-bit address bus. That means it can access 64 KB of memory. 60-bit address bus means 16 lines of address bus. You know what is the function of address bus? That is 64 KB of physical memory for this 8085 microprocessor. It provides 8-bit I/O addresses. It provides 8-bit I/O addresses. I/O addresses means input, output or peripheral devices. Microprocessor provides 8-bit data to these peripheral devices. So it provides 8-bit I/O addresses. It can operate with 3 MHz clock frequency. 3 MHz clock frequency. Frequency means speed of the microprocessor. Frequency means speed of the microprocessor. Total frequency of 8085 microprocessor is 6 MHz. It is divided by 2, so it operates with 3 MHz. That is, total frequency is 6 MHz. It supports 74 instructions. In 8085 microprocessor, total instructions is 74. That we will learn in detail in second chapter of paper 2. Next is, in 8085, the lower 8-bit address bus, that is A0 to A7 and data bus D0 to D7. D means data, A means address, are multiplex bus with a reduced number of external pins. Means in these features, in 8085 16-bit address lines means 16-bit address bus in 8085 microprocessor. So lower bit, that is A0 to A7, are combined with the data bus, that is D0 to D7. Means combined with means it combine AD0 to AD7. When lower bit of address bus, that is A0 to A7, is combined with data bus D0 to D7, it produce AD0 to AD7. So it is called as multiplex bus. Why it is called as multiplex bus? Because lower bit of address bus is combined with data bus, so it is called as multiplex bus. Now next is, it has serial I/O control which allows serial communication. Serial I/O control. Serially data are inputted or outputted from external device in which are controlled serially. So serial I/O control which allows serial communication. It provides 5 hardware interrupts. What do you mean by interrupts? Interrupt means break the normal sequence. That is the basic definition of interrupt. Now in 8085, 5 hardware interrupts are there. Whenever you enter through the keyboard, the interrupt the microprocessor. So interrupt indicates to the microprocessor entering something. Interrupt indicates to the microprocessor entering something through input devices. So it is called as interrupt. Understand features of 8085 microprocessor? Now see next, primary function of the CPU of microcomputer. This question is many times asked for 3 marks in board exam. Now see, first function is the fetch, decode and execute the program instruction in the proper order. What do you mean by fetch? Fetch means, first see, fetching means in fetch phase, microprocessor places the content of the program counter on the address bus, gets instruction code, upcode from the address memory location. This is a function of fetching. Means, see here, in fetching contents of the program counter. Program counter means to execute the next instruction. Program counter means execute the next instruction. Later this topic we will see in detail. One thing is, remember, in 8085 inputted data is binary format. So it can't accept data in normal English language. So in 8085 microprocessor, for every instruction upcode will be decided. This is also we see in later. Now this program counter on the address bus get instruction code, upcode and address memory. Means where the instruction is stored, means that instruction upcode where the stored in memory location, that memory location, upcode and instruction code fetching from the memory. So it is called as fetch. Now what is meant by decode? Decode means, now see here, decode is instruction upcode is stored is temporary. What is decode? Instruction is stored temporarily. Upcode from the instruction register is decoded with the help of instruction decoded to generate appropriate signals to execute instruction. Means instruction decoder takes the instruction upcode from the instruction register and decode it, means execute it to generate appropriate control signal. It is the function of this decoding. And finally at execute program means execute the microprocessor generates appropriate control signals and execute the instruction. That is the function of this MPU. MPU means microprocessor unit. Now next is transfer data and from memory and the input output section. Means one transfer data one place to another place. Means here to and from memory or to and from the input output device. It both way transfer the data in this microprocessor. Now response to external interrupts. Response to external interrupts. Interrupt means to break the sequence. Means whatever entered through external device, microprocessor supports to that interrupts. And last one is provide overall timing and control signals for the entire system. Means when data is entered in the microprocessor for executing, at that time microprocessor unit provide the timing and control signals for the entire procedure, entire program. So it will be executed. This is the primary function of CPU of microcomputer. This question asks many times in board paper for 3 marks. So remember these 4 points. Now see, next topic we learn about detailed pin diagram of 8085 IC. You know what is IC? IC means integrated circuit. See, this picture will be like this IC. Last year we studied already logic gates, means AND gate, OR gate, NAND gate, that IC, every IC for different functions for every IC. Now this IC is 8085 microprocessor. See, this is 8085 IC, this is called as IC, and these pins, these are pins. These pins, each pins indicates different functions. Each pin indicates different functions. Now these in 8085, how many pins? 40 pins are there. Now see in detail for each functions for each pin in 8085. Understand what is IC? IC, see in like this. Okay. Now in this left side, starting 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this left side counting the first number, then second number knob, then third number knob. It is because in this knob is there in left hand side. See here, this knob means starting, it is upper side and this is downward side. So counting this way, 1, 2, 3, 4. In one side 20 pins are there and opposite sides 20 pins are there. See, this is a 8085 IC. Now detail, see the diagram of 8085 microprocessor. This is the pin diagram of 8085 microprocessor. See, in left side 1 to 20 pins are there and in right side 21 to 40 pins are there. In this session we will see only 5 pins are explained. See here, first pin in this left side 1 to 20, first and second pin is X1, X2, third pin is reset out, fourth pin is SOD, fifth pin is SID, sixth is trap, 7 is RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5. Next is INTR, 11 pin is INTA bar, and 12 to 19 pins is AD0 to AD7, and last 20 pin is VSS. Now see each pin function. See here, first pin is X1 and X2, that is pin 1 and pin 2. See here, the X1 and X2 are connected to an external crystal. X1 and X2 are connected to an external crystal. See this diagram. In this diagram, X1 and X2 connected to this crystal. Or in RC circuit, RC means resistor, capacitor or LC network used, and it generates clock signal. See in this diagram also clock signals is there when external crystal is connected. It produces suitable clock for the operation of microprocessor. So the frequency is internally divided by 2, therefore to operate a system at 3 MHz means, so the crystal frequency should be twice operating frequency. If the operating frequency of 8085 is 3 MHz, then total frequency should be 6 MHz, means double. Okay, means it is divided into 2 pins, that is X1 and X2. For X1 is 3 MHz and X2 is 3 MHz. Now next pin is reset out, that is pin number 3. Pin number 3 is reset out. Function of these pins, it indicates that the MPU is being reset. You know very well what is meaning of this reset. Reset means totally processor is stop or again start it is called as reset. If It connected to peripheral to reset them when MPU is reset. Means if MPU resets, it sends a output signal and then it is a connected to peripheral device. That is MPU is resets, so microprocessor unit sends signal I am resetting, so you are also resetting. So reset out means totally microprocessor are reset position. Now next pin is SOD pin, that is pin number 4. In this pin number 4, SOD means serial output data. It is a data line for serial output. You know what do you mean by data line? Address bus or data bus. Data line means to transfer the data one place to another place. So it is a data line for serial output. The 7th bit of accumulator is outputted. 7th bit of accumulator is outputted an SOD line when SIM instruction is executed. When SIM instruction is executed. Accumulator means the register. 8085 is 8-bit microprocessor. Also in these 8085 all registers are 8-bit register. So accumulator is also 8-bit register, and in this accumulator 7th bit position is outputted on SOD line when SIM instruction is executed. SIM means set interrupt mask. This instruction we will see in later. Okay. But remember SOD is used for SIM instruction. The SOD line eliminates the need for an output port in the software. So when you want the data sent to out serially, so SOD is used. If you want data sent to out serially, so SOD is used, and it is done from accumulator and executing SIM instruction. See this diagram. These two pins SOD and SID. Understand what is SOD? SOD means serially output data. In accumulator means the register. In the register 7th bit position is outputted when SIM instruction is executed. Means 7th bit position is connected to this SOD pin. Remember 7th bit of accumulator is connected to this SOD pin. So this line is eliminate the need for an output port in the software. Now next pin is SID. SID is pin number 5. SID means serial input data, opposite of SOD. Same here, it is a data line for serial input, output of serial out instead of serial output. SID pin is used for serially inputted. That 7th bit of accumulator is inputted on SID line when a RIM instruction is executed. What do you mean by RIM instruction? Read interrupt mask. This instruction also we will see in later. But remember, same here 7 bit position in accumulator register is connected to this SID pin. 7 bit position, 7 bit is connected this SID pin, and the SID line eliminates the need for an input port in the software. Understand what is SOD and SID? SID means the input signal is used to accept serial data bit by bit from the external device, and SOD means this is an output signal which enables the transmission of serial data bit by bit to the external device. One thing is remember, these two pins are used only in RIM and SIM instruction. SOD pin is used for SIM instruction and SID pin is used for RIM instruction. SOD is, see here, arrow also outgoing, and SID is input, means arrow is incoming to the microprocessor, and SOD is outgoing from the microprocessor. But these two instruction it executed among with accumulator data. Okay, understand what is SOD and SID. Now remaining pins we learn to next session. Thank you.